Hey everyone, welcome back and welcome to our session on prioritizing self care. I hope you're getting a lot of good nuggets from all the other sessions that you've heard. This one, Parents, is definitely about you, and I'm excited to have LaShana West here, who's going to talk to us about how to prioritize self care as parents. So, LaShana, I'm going to kick it to you to share a quick intro, and then we're going to jump into our conversation.
Sure. So my name is LaShana West, and I'm excited to be a part of the summit. I'm a business therapist and mindset coach, but by trade, I'm a therapist and a mom. And I think at the end of the day, self care has been very cliche, very cutesy, very demure, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And we have to realize that self care actually is not something that is this shiny, glittery thing. It's something that we can do every single day, every single hour, every single moment. For example, I have water sitting right here. That is a part of me self caring. So, super excited to have this conversation.
Yeah, thank you. And I love how you set us up for that. It's like self care is small, like the water. It really is. It's like it can
Yeah.
be that simple. Um,
Mhm.
so, why is self care essential for parents, and how can busy moms and dads make time for it without feeling guilty?
Yeah. So, mom guilt and dad guilt is a big thing. And I think at the end of the day, we take the title or the role so literal that we feel like everything else comes before us. And if it doesn't, then we're not the great mom, the great dad, the great caregiver. And I always say that others need to get our overflow. And so if my cup
Mm.
isn't filled and flowing over, then even if I am doing everything for my family or for my children, it's not going to be sustainable and it's not realistic. So it's actually setting them up for failure. What do I
Mm.
mean by that? It's enabling. If I have a 7-year old who can literally make their own sandwich or take out the trash, but I'm doing all the things because I want to be the best mom ever, what happens when that 7-year old turns 10 and then 12 and then 15 and then 21 and you're not equipping them with the simple skills? That's a simple fact of us sharing the wealth, sharing the space, and sharing the opportunities for learning and growing. And I think the more we shift our mindset to that, it'll show us that we all need time to decompress and we all need time to self care. But if we put everything on our backs and do it all, we'll become burned out, we'll become resentful, and then we'll also have mom and dad guilt no matter what and no matter how well things are going.
I love that you like gave that example of that 7 year old.
Yeah.
I so my daughter is 2, and before she was 2, I just fed her. Right, I would feed her with the spoon or the fork,
Hmm.
and then what would happen is I wasn't eating, and
Mm,
so I got to a place where I realized, like, okay, I literally am not eating when they eat. This doesn't
yeah.
make any sense. Like, why am I doing that? And I realized it was this fear of her making a mess.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, wow, I'm literally holding her back from a milestone that she is supposed to meet and practice, right? All because
Yep.
I'm afraid of a mess. Parenting is messy. Kids are going to be messy, right? So I pushed myself to let her feed herself with a spoon because they were doing it at school and I wasn't doing it at home.
Yeah.
She didn't make a mess. And it was like, you know what I mean? Like I was holding her back from a skill
Yeah.
thinking like it was going to be this disaster. It's literally never been a disaster. And
Mhm.
so, and now she has the skill. And so I love that you talked about that because now I get to eat. And it wasn't even like I couldn't eat before. It's that
Right.
I was putting everything on my shoulders, as you said. And so
Mhm.
it was like kids are fed, check. I'm a great mom. But if I don't eat, I can't be here, right? To be a good mom. So I love that.
Yeah, and if you don't eat, you may become hangry. You may, let's say, you have low iron. You're not going to be fully present. I get headaches. I
Yeah.
get irritable, and something in my hormones is just like out of whack. So I'm not going to be able to be sharp and very communicative if I'm not taking care of myself. And that's what I meant by letting others get the overflow.
Yeah, I loved it. I That's such a good way to start. So I hope the parents are really hearing that. What are some practical strategies that you think parents can use to manage stress and kind of avoid this burnout while they're juggling maybe work and the kids and household responsibilities and their own, dreams?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it is practicing it at neutral times That way, when you're stressed out, when crises comes, because life is going to always life, you have a toolkit and you have a go-to that of habits that you've already built. For example, we always teach our kids, take a deep breath, just calm down, just relax. Guess what? I take my deep breaths too. And I remember like when my daughter was, because I have a 22-year-old. I know I don't look it.
Not at all. Not
I
at all.
always do that as a joke. And I probably should pause first before I say it immediately. But anyways, I take my own deep breath. So if she used to be over there tantruming, right, or just having a bad day, instead of me immediately impulsively responding, I would turn my head, take a deep breath, and then respond, right? And I think a lot of times, because no parent wakes up and says, I'm going to abuse my child.
No.
However, if there is a parent that is not getting their self care in, that is not taking care of themselves, freak accidents happen. Impulsive, reactive things happen. So I think it's even bigger than self care. I think it's raising a healthy dynamic and healthy communication in the home. And the only way to do that is if we are cognizant and conscientious of how we're showing up and basically having a happy medium of our energy level. So, in short, practice the things at neutral times, right? Meditation, journaling, self care, breathing. And I know some parents might be like, girl, I don't have time to do any of that. I'm always busy. Well, guess what? Question. Do you got time for your Netflix? Do you have time to scroll on social media? 5 minutes, right? The same way we schedule our doctor's appointment, our PCP appointments, our hair appointments, our nail appointments, playtime with the kids, whatever it is, we got to schedule and infuse that time for self. So when things happen, because they're always going to happen,
Yeah.
you have the capacity to deal with it in a healthy manner versus a forced manner.
I like that. I like the neutral times, the times that are like not high stress and not the times where you're exhausted. I love that. I am going to everybody go and put some time on your calendar for yourself because I'm sitting here like, yeah, I'm gonna go do that.
Yeah,
It could
and,
be as
and
simple as getting up from your desk and like walking around your house for 5 minutes while you drink water.
I also want to add every single time block and moment does not have to be filled with things. So
Yeah.
if an appointment gets canceled or there's a pocket of time, you don't have to, oh, well, let me do laundry. Oh, let me go do the dish real quick. Well, let me just sit and enjoy this 5 minute breather since this meeting ended early and I don't have to pick the kids up until XYZ time. Well, let
Yeah.
me go walk instead of sitting sedentary at my desk. My supervisor, she promotes self-care and I can use my phone instead of being plugged to the computer. Now, mind you, everybody doesn't have that kind of work dynamic, but a lot of times we do have it and we don't take it.
Yeah. Yeah, take those breaks, those 15-minute breaks that you've been working through, or that lunch break where you said, I'm going to sit at my desk and work. Get up. You know, get up, move around, move your body around, go dance, listen to some music outside or in your car. I mean, there's so many different things you can do, right, to add those things into your day. And I like that you said, like, sometimes we're just not using it. Like, it's there. We've convinced ourselves we can't do it. Yeah, I love that. What are some common signs that parents may be struggling with their mental well being, and when should they seek professional support?
Great question. So, some red flags or common signs is that it's impeding several areas of your life, right? Work, relationship, parenting, friendship, social things. And what I always say is the body keeps a score. If you haven't read that
Mm,
book, Google it, get on Amazon, grab it. So, if you're starting to have headaches, you're very irritable for simple things when usually it's no big deal, but now it's just very crispy and you're irritable about it, or fatigued, or increased hunger, decreased hunger. Those kind of things you want to pay attention to because most times it's a reason. And a lot of times it could be glaring, and most times maybe it's not glaring, it's very subtle,
yeah.
but we got to pay attention to it. And I always like erring on the side of caution, even if it's not really glaring, but your gut says, this seems weird. Go and get support, go and talk to your PCP, Go and talk to your therapist. And if you don't have one, I just want to say this: therapy should be something that is automatic and organic, just like a PCP appointment, uh, a dental appointment. And what I mean by that, when you have to get your kids enrolled in school, right? So
Yeah.
they need their shots, they need their doctor's appointment. Okay, in a perfect world, which I know and nothing's perfect, but I would love, who's the mental health practitioner? There should be a line for that.
Yes.
Because then when things get rocking and rolling and your child is having some mental health concerns, or you or your partner is, you already have a go-to, and you don't have to get on Google or Psychology Today and figure out who can help you. It's already there.
Yeah.
So I know I just literally gave you a whole mouthful, but I think the biggest thing is to know that, and we've come a long way. Therapy used to be so taboo, and oh, I'm not crazy, I don't need therapy, or I don't need medicine, I'm not crazy. And now it's like people are normalizing, yeah, I went and talked to my therapist, and it just makes my heart
Yeah.
warm, because I've been in the mental health field for 20 years, and 10, 15 years ago, no one wanted anyone to know that they had a therapist. And now
Not at all.
they're
Yeah.
screaming it to the rooftops, which is cool, and therapy's cool.
Yeah.
So
I
I
hope
mean,
it stays that way too.
yeah. Well, my hope, and I'm very optimistic, it's going to stay that way. It's going to get better. And it's just having these kind of conversations. And I also love seeing therapists doing different educational reels and making fun of different things, so you can normalize and know, oh, my therapist is my friend or my homegirl. And of course, you need healthy boundaries, but it does not have to be this formalized thing and this sterile thing where it's me with the glasses on and you're over there sitting on the couch. No,
Yeah.
therapy could be you walking outside with your headphones on, talking to your therapist on FaceTime.
I've done that actually
Yeah,
with my therapist, and
yeah,
she loves it because she knows that I will talk about, how I hadn't really moved my body. I've got these aches and these pains, and how
mhm,
that bleeds over into other things. And she keeps track, and she's like, "Okay, I heard you for the last few weeks talk about this in terms of your well-being. What are we going to do
yeah,
differently?" Right? And so I like that it's being normalized. I like that now there's like people truly wanting to like study this and
yep,
have like a niche that they're working with, and
mhm,
excited about the certifications and all of that. And I think about my son having autism, and
yeah,
therapy is a part of his life, right? Like he goes
mhm,
to ABA therapy every day, he goes to speech therapy every week, he goes to occupational therapy every week. And then, once he's old enough, we'll probably do some play therapy where he can go
yeah,
somewhere and kind of communicate his needs. And we're going to do the same for my daughter. Like,
mhm,
I want them to know and understand that that happens, and I want to model it for them too. Um,
yeah. I think that's
how,
amazing. I love that.
speaking of modeling, how can parents like model these sorts of things that you're talking about for their kids, and like start to become comfortable discussing self-care, therapy, all these things like to their kids?
Yeah. So earlier I talked about an example of me pausing and take a deep breath, right? And now that I know what I know, I don't have to turn my head to take a deep breath. Take it right in front of them, right? Um, if you're stretching, why you have to wait till the kids are down for a nap?
Yeah.
You could be playing, watching TV, and you have your yoga mat or your little rug or whatever it is, and doing it. And more than likely, they're going to sit down and do it with you, to where it's now a family thing versus, oh, my self care is so isolated, I have to do it by myself. And another thing in regards to modeling is setting boundaries and saying no. You don't have to say yes every single time they ask for something. Or if you're on the phone, they're like, Mommy, Mommy, oh, 1 second. What is it? No, it's 1 second. I'm on the phone. So they can learn how to cope and deal with not getting their way, with accepting no and accepting decisions. Because we both know, Dom, in the real world, we don't get our requests answered immediately. We
Sure don't.
be patient, and that can start very, very early on versus getting irritable or personalizing. All of those soft skills form most times because they haven't been practiced early on in life, right?
Yeah.
So modeling is literally doing your work in front of your kids. And when I say work, I'm talking about the inner work. To a certain extent, doing it together, doing it in front of them without making it separate.
I like that. I I started to like smile when you talked about stretching in front of the kids because that's what I
Mhm.
do. I'll put yoga up on the
Mhm.
TV. They're sitting and having a snack, or maybe they're near me, and it's so cute because my daughter will, raise her hands up while I'm doing
Mhm.
it, or she'll bend over and do her downward dog, or touch her toes. And my
Yeah.
son won't do it right away. He'll watch the whole thing, and then we'll move on with our day. And I'll look, and like he's in the corner and he's like doing it.
Yeah.
And so it's cool because it's like at some point once they develop the language, they might ask like, so what is this
Mhm.
called that we're doing, right? Or
Yeah.
oh, this thing is called yoga that you've been doing, and we can make it a family thing. I think
Yeah.
the same way about eating too. Like it's really the thing that triggered in me. Like I should sit down and eat too, because what I don't want them to do is think when I become a parent, this is what my mom did. So I'm going to do exactly what mom did. Mom
Yeah.
didn't sit down and eat. Mom fed us. And while, we were eating, she was washing dishes and folding laundry and doing her
Yeah.
business. Da, 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 da. Like, I'm like, no, I got to stop and slow down too. So
Yeah.
I love that you pointed that out, and doing it in front of them and talking to them about it, is a good thing.
Most definitely.
I remember, I'm also thinking about my grandma. She would take us on her walks. So she would
Mhm.
walk miles when I was younger. And she's like, you want to come on a walk with me today? And I'm like, sure. And over a few blocks away, I'm like, girl, are we done? She's like, we're just getting started. you know?
That's
And
good.
here I am, 15, right? Walking with my grandma and her friend, from our neighborhood downtown in a circle and going back. And now I'm comfortable just walking. Like
Yeah.
just get up and go walk. And I thought she was crazy. And then, when I was younger, and now I'm like, you're getting recommended that we should just like walking is enough for
Yeah.
people to start with, even 10, 20 minutes a day. And so, I love the doing that in front of them because it does more than just something in the moment. Right.
Yeah.
But in the future, they can look back and say, that's what we did.
Yeah. It sounds like your grandma was an early adopter.
Yes. Yeah. I thought she was crazy. I really did.
I'm
And
sure, girl.
she was also always have something green on your plate.
I love that. Yeah. Color.
So when we cook, we have something green. And my brother, in his old age, has started to cook. And I'll look and I'll say, "Where's the green on your plate?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I sound just like her." Uh,
Yeah.
so, but it stuck. It stuck. There was a reason she
Mhm.
said it, and whether she knew all of the deep reasons why you need a vegetable on your plate, particularly specifically a green one, I'm
Yep.
finding that's actually good. Like I heard it on a session I recorded earlier,
Mhm.
around maternal health and how much that matters, and also again on the other session with the nutritionist and talking about having something green. So it matters. Yeah.
It does. And now I'm thinking about it, she was modeling and it stuck, and now you are modeling for your kids. So
Hmm.
I think sometimes we don't even know we're modeling, but it's just the good habits that we have start to spill over.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for parents raising children with special needs,
Hmm.
or unique challenges,
Yeah.
maybe disabilities or something like that, what additional self-care and mental wellness strategies do you recommend for them?
Yeah. So I definitely think that parents who have kids who learn differently, who have special needs and special abilities, have to add on extra support. And when I say extra support, asking for help more, giving yourself grace more, doing all the things that we should be doing anyways. Universal precautions was what we should do anyways, but more. And the reason why is because sometimes it could be more intense. Um, the frequency of behaviors or needs will increase. And so if that's increasing, but you're still doing regular, no, you have to increase so you can, meet it in the middle. And I think sometimes we forget about that,
Yeah.
and I think, whether you have kids or not, one of our biggest issues as people is asking for help. And I just want everyone to know that asking for help is actually a superpower. It's not a weakness. And for
Mhm.
those who are like, I don't have anyone to ask for help from, I want you to be creative. Are you connected with the church? Do you have a carpooling or a play date group that you're with? Or are you in an online Facebook group or connected to a community like ParentPorch? you can ask for help in these different scenarios, but many times we either A, forget about it, or we don't see it as an opportunity to ask for help. And there's always opportunities.
I
Yeah.
love that. I was struggling with, I would say that I don't have any help. Nobody can help me, so I have to do it
Mhm.
all. And my therapist said, are you asking, like, are you trying to get help from the people you feel should be helping you?
Mm,
Or do you truly not have any help?
good.
And
Mhm.
I paused, and she's like, I want you to think about the people who are around, who are checking on you, who are reaching out, who do ask about your kids. They
Yeah.
might be different than the people you think should be doing it, right? You might think it should be your cousin, it should be your mom, it should be their dad, it should be their grandparents. But
Yeah.
who it really is it's your neighbor, it's your financial coach who you like built a personal relationship with, it's godparents that you chose that you keep forgetting about, it's the lady at church who watched your kid in the nursery, right? Who loves your
Mhm.
child and has known them since they were born, right? Those people who are always asking are people you can tap into and ask for help. And you can put boundaries around that, right? There's some people I ask for help who I just need you to do this at this time. Like, I need you to be in the same room with me and support me. There's other
Yeah,
people I'm like, I need a weekend.
that's good.
So, or I need, can you just watch them every day
Mhm.
for me with your kids? And as crazy, I'd never thought that my best friend, who has 5 kids, about to have her sixth, I
Wow.
never thought that she would ever tell me to drop my 2 kids off, and she kept saying it. Like, she's like, girl, we already have 5, 2 more is nothing. And she's like, it's nothing for us, like, it's fine. If you
Yeah.
need time, come drop them off. And one day I did, and my kids did not want to go home. That I with other kids, and
Yeah.
and this other household that was a safe space for them. And so sometimes we think, if I ask that person, it's going to be a burden, but
Hmm.
maybe it's not. Like, maybe they've been offering it to you, and you've thought there's no way. Like,
Yeah.
maybe they're just asking to be nice. I would call people's bluff. You've been asking if I need any help.
Right.
I do. I haven't eaten. Would you mind sending me a lunch?
Oh,
Right? Like,
love that.
I'm struggling. I can't even slow down enough to make, a grocery list. Can you help me with that, or come grocery shopping with me so I can combine grocery shopping and some girl time?
That's really cool. I love that idea.
Yeah, and I've done it. Like, my best friends or people I know are like, "Hey, just thinking about you. Do you need anything?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm good." And then one day I was like, I'm hungry. They're like, you're hungry? Yeah, I haven't eaten. I don't think I ate dinner last night. You want some lunch? And normally I'd say, no, it's okay. I got food in here. Knowing that's a
Mhm.
lie. Like, I need to thaw something out and whatever.
Yeah.
And one day I said, yeah, I'll take lunch. And I got some good lunch, something I would have never ordered for myself. So,
Wow.
yeah,
I'm going to do that one day. I love that you brought that up. Like you said, calling people out on what they say they want to do. That's really good because I think
yeah,
our immediate response is "I'm fine," and there's an acronym for "fine": feelings inside, not expressed.
yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. Everything's okay. And I even have to work on stop having a rebuttal of, "Hey, how you doing? I'm good." No, I'm not. How you doing? I'm tired, but I'm blessed. And it could just be I'm tired and end it at that. You don't
yeah,
have to compensate or validate the first part. Just give it what it is, and more than likely they feel the same way. And then you see that commonality and that relatability versus having surface conversations.
yeah, yeah. I love that. Um, All right. Any final words of advice or suggestions for our parents, like something that maybe they can implement right now, immediately after watching this?
Yeah, so the first thing I want to say is give yourself grace. And your self-care may look different than someone else's. Walking outside with no shoes on in the grass, letting the grass go between your toes is self-care. Self-care is taking a bath instead of your regular routine shower that you take. Self-care is getting your favorite candy bar or drink or item that you usually don't get because it's a little bit too expensive, or you're watching your calories. Live a little, right?
Yeah.
So the immediate tip I want to give is give yourself grace. I want you to know that you're doing enough and probably more than enough. And if the bed doesn't get made or the kids end up eating cookies for breakfast or their socks are not the same color, they're going to be okay. Right? And I think once we kind of release the self imposed control, we give ourselves more capacity to have fun, to grow, and to figure out what it is that we want to implement and what we want to do for self care versus the textbook of going to get a massage, going to get a facial, going to get my nails done. That's not self care. That's actually maintenance.
I like that. I like that
Yeah.
distinction. I love that.
Yeah.
I
Self
love
care is
that.
caring for yourself any way that you want so you can be lighter and be less stressed no matter what that looks like. So it could be canceling a date that you promised. It could be letting the kids' hair go 3 weeks more than you planned. And it's not have anything to do with money. You might just not have the time or energy to go and take them. They're gonna be fine.
Yep. 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 They're going to be fine. I love it. One last question. I'm always curious about this. What about play? Can play be self care?
Most definitely play is self-care, and that's why I play so much. One of my strengths, I took the strengths finder, is humor. And so I'm really animated, or I'll make jokes whether people laugh or not. I don't care. I'm laughing,
Yeah.
right? Play could be a different hair color. Play could be being creative with your makeup. Play could be putting on a shirt that you're a little scary of wearing, but you're going to wear it because you want to exert and play. And play also could be sitting on the floor, playing with the kids, or running around playing tag with your significant other or a close friend. So, yes, play definitely is self care. And we have to do more play because it also taps into inner child healing.
I love that. I love that. I'm so glad that that question dropped on my spirit for me to ask you
Me
at the
too.
end. That's a great way to close out this session for sure. And I think that's something, those things are something I would challenge everyone to implement: giving yourself grace, playing, and remembering that self care and maintenance are two different things. And so you want to prioritize the self care, caring for yourself
Mhm.
in the ways that make you lighter and less stressed.
Yeah,
Love that. So,
yeah.
LaShana, where can people find you? And if they want to work with you as a coach, also, where can they find you?
Yeah, so they can find me at all things at LaShana West, my first and last name. That's LaShanaWest. I'm very active on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. And I also do something called a complimentary clarity call. And that's where you can explore how I can support you as a life coach or even a business coach.
Love that. Perfect. And also, if you have been following Parent Porch for a while, you see LaShana on Wellness Wednesdays once a month. So you can
Yeah,
also see her there. We love having you. I always love your sessions. I watch them every time because it's such good nuggets. So that's another way. Stay tapped into the Parent Porch community and you will see her familiar face.
thank
Um,
you so much. I love watching yours too, Dom. You are a joy, and I love your laid back personality. And when I say laid back, don't take that lightly because I think sometimes, like for me, I'm always on, and I can always just be like, And sometimes you gotta just relax, and you might be like, "Girl, I'm not laid back." You knew what was going on. Trust me, I'm like speaking for you. But regardless of the fact, your personality is very welcoming and very light, and I just never change.
Thank you. I needed to hear that. That's how I hope I'm showing up. And you were right. On the inside, I'm like, ah. So I'm glad I'm coming across as like welcoming and warm and chill.
You are.
So yeah, I love that. Thank you all for joining us for this session, prioritizing self care. I will see you in the next one. And also, you'll have a little bonus session with LaShana too. So stay tuned for that.
Bye, guys.
I hope you enjoyed that session. Make sure that you stay in touch with us for more content on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. It is Parent Porch, ParentPorch. Also follow me on all platforms at Uncaped Mama, UNCAPEDMAMA. Continue to stay connected with us by email. Make sure you check your email for some goodies as well, and to stay up to date on all of our events and happenings, and to be ready for your next session. See you in the next one.